So, we talked about Seneca and the shortness of life. Now, life isn't short if we know how to live, alright? We know that, but we can't agree that life is pretty hard. Life is pretty tough, and it can beat down on a lot of us. Life is a forge in a sense, a blacksmith. It hammers on us day in, day out. It's tough. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Blah, blah, blah. So, many of us become bitter, right? Very opinionated. We have our virtues, we have our morals, we have our ideas and these constraints, our convictions, religion, politics, beliefs, whatever, okay? We stop there. A lot of us stop there. Now, in a forge, what does a blacksmith need to make a good blade? He needs extreme heat to melt down the metal, to melt down the steel so that he can mend it and he can shape it into this beautiful sharp sword. So, what has to happen to us? Now let me give you an example. Growing up, my parents weren't very good with money, right? They didn't know how to manage their finances, so all that ignorance was shown. I had no idea how to manage my money. So I have to be humble and say I don't know. So I have to have the courage, the action to go learn, right? I can learn from books, from people, okay? If you've never had a girlfriend, you never had sex, you want a girlfriend, you want a good relationship, but what does that take? It takes humility, right? You have to be, maybe you don't like yourself too much and you don't think you're good enough, okay? But approaching girls is a first step. Saying hello, my name's this, what's your name, nice to meet you, smile. Just a simple hello will do. It can open up so many doors. But it takes that first step. It takes the heat, being able to be embarrassed. Alright, you have to go through these experiences. Maybe you want a nice body. You keep dreaming in your head of this great physique. You don't know how to get there. Alright, it's not going to come to you. You need to learn about diet. Okay, tell yourself that. I don't know, so I need to learn. Alright, we don't know everything. We need to be broken down. We need to be mendable. Alright? Now there's a second step. A lot of us, we've been hardened. Right? We're bitter towards the world. But some of us get to here. A lot of us get to here. Alright? We know, we have a good awareness towards life. We have gotten a lot of things we want. Pretty smart. But then we stop. Okay? You don't leave a sharp blade on the kitchen counter. You just don't. You don't use a sharp blade, sword to cut up your vegetables, to cut up steak and beef and all that stuff, alright? You don't leave it among your knives and your butter knives and all that, okay? Because what would happen if you used it to cut stuff on the daily? It would get dulled. Over time it would be blunted. So where's a sword kept, right? A sword is kept in its sheath. It's sheathed. It comes out when it's needed. It's ready for war, right? But it's kept in its sheath. Now, what are our weapons? Our minds, right? Our minds need to be sharp, need to be cunning. And what does it need? What does a mind need? Solitude, right? A mind needs solitude. It needs alone time. It needs aloneness. Because in solitude, that is where we are kept sharp, where we are able to be with our thoughts, to be comfortable with who we are, who we're becoming, our ideas, right? Our being. We become in love with this. And that's done in solitude. Okay? So, we're kept in our sheath. We're sharp. We're ready for battle. But continually, you have to sharpen your sword. Right? Continually, iron sharpens iron. I've said this before. We need to be around people. Listen, there are great people out there just crushing it, killing it. Right? We can learn from the best. There are people in the past that have done it, that have laid out the frameworks, the mindsets, the ways of thinking, philosophies that we can go to and learn, that we can put into our own life. Okay? But again, we have to be humble and say, I don't know it all. So, iron sharpens iron. Progressing every day. You want to go to bed a little bit smarter than the day before. Okay? a little bit smarter than that day when you woke up. So, when you're sharp, what are you able to do? You're able to cut off bad relationships. You're able to break through these barriers and say, you know, that's enough. Get rid of that, man. I've had enough of this. I don't need this in my life. Get rid of that food, because you know now, right? You have the knowledge. This relationship is wasting my time, so let me cut that off. You know, this only happens. You only get a sharp sword. Mine is only going to be sharpened by progression. Progression in knowledge. Knowledge makes us who we are. Okay? You don't want to become complacent. That's the low levels of consciousness that I talk about. These low levels of consciousness in the world that are very complacent. They're down here, right? They're at the surface. We want to get past that. All right? Past this shallow way of thinking. So guys, continue to sharpen that sword. Go to bed a little bit smarter every day. Okay? That's the call. Progression. Okay? And being alone. I think this is so important. Aloneness. A lot of us are afraid to be alone. Right? We're very social creatures. But that's where the honing is done. The mind works itself out. It thinks things through. It weaves in and out of the barriers, and it comes up with these new insights. It develops in solitude. So take time every day to be alone. Alright, this is our greatest weapon. We got to keep it sharp. I'll see you guys soon. Please subscribe. Take care.